Here's a map showcasing France, a diverse and captivating country situated in the heart of Europe. It shares borders with 8 neighboring countries and stands as one of the largest nations in Europe. France boasts a population of over 67 million people and has a rich history that spans centuries, shaped by the contributions of various cultures and influences. Now, when we think of France, most people's minds immediately go to the Eiffel Tower, croissants and baguettes, exquisite vineyards, and of course the romantic city of Paris. However, there's much more to this country than initially meets the eye. Scientists continue to uncover perplexing discoveries in France that defy explanation. What have scientists recently found in France, and why are they puzzled by these findings? Join us in this video to uncover 18 different fascinating discoveries and shocking stories that will show you that France is not what we're being told. Number 18. Paris struggling with a serious crack pandemic. Paris, a city known for its cultural charm and vibrant history, is grappling with a disturbing crack cocaine epidemic that has brought chaos to its streets. The Éole Gardens, nestled in northeast Paris, have transformed into a dystopian open-air crack kingdom, becoming a hub for addicts, dealers, and suffering residents. The park, only a short walk from the famous Montmartre, once the haunt of artistic legends like Toulouse-Lautrec and Picasso, has become a shocking contrast. Amidst the serene playgrounds, grazing sheep, and local Qigong practitioners, the gardens are now swarmed by drug addicts who gather for their daily fix. The authorities' decision to group these vulnerable individuals together and extend park hours to 1 a.m. has given rise to an alarming public health crisis. This consolidation has led to violent incidents, particularly affecting women, with 2 reported cases of rape in broad daylight. By nighttime, police closes the park, which leads to many of these addicts roam the streets and start meeting at the so-called Stalin crack spot. The government's developed a €9 million anti-crack plan has been criticized for its lack of comprehensive long-term strategies. As a result, Paris continues to grapple with the drug problem. With an estimated 13,000 crack users in the wider region, we can hope the city will find a proper solution to tackle this pandemic in the future. Number 17. Tragic fate of the French radium girls. The haunting tale of the French radium girls mirrors the infamous case of their American counterparts, revealing a tragic chapter in the early 20th century. Radium appeared to hold endless possibilities for its luminous properties. However, unbeknownst to these pioneering women, radium was a silent assassin. Situated in France, the Société Belge pour le Radium during the 1920s employed young women in the dial painting industry, akin to the radium girls in the United States. Known locally as Les Filles du Radium, or the Radium Girls of France. These brave workers wielded small brushes to coat watch dials with luminous paint infused with radium. As they meticulously painted these dials, the radium paint adhered to their brushes, and they often shaped the points with their lips to maintain precision. In doing so, they ingested and inhaled minuscule amounts of radium daily. Their dedicated labor came at a tremendous cost. Much like their American sisters, these French radium girls were ravaged by appalling health issues. Prolonged exposure to radium led to a slew of afflictions, from radium-induced jawbone necrosis to various cancers. The death toll among these courageous women steadily climbed, and the pain they endured was immeasurable. The radium girls' legacy is kept alive by the changes in labor law and our knowledge of radioactivity's consequences brought about by their deaths. Number 16. The danger of crevasses in the French Alps. A Frenchman was skiing in the Alps mountain when he slipped into a sizable crevasse and managed to narrowly avoid being crushed. Crevasses are deep fractures that lie concealed beneath icy landscapes. Formed by the movement of glaciers, these treacherous chasms can range in size from small cracks to gaping voids. Les Poutos, a skier, fell swiftly into darkness after hitting an unexpected hole under him while traveling on a well-maintained course. At Meyer Mountain, which is renowned for its harsh skiing, the event took place. The skier was wearing a GoPro on which the event was captured. The terrifying footage shows the skier lose control and falling down what appears to be an endless pit of vertical slope. However, he quickly used his skis to slow down his descent and was able to halt at the ledge by driving his skis into the ice. According to his Instagram, he was able to climb out of the crevasse using a pickaxe and crampons while his buddies lowered a rope to assist him. It took some time to escape, but it appears to be secure. He was quite fortunate. Amidst the awe-inspiring landscapes of the French Alps, outdoor enthusiasts must always be vigilant to prevent falling into the perilous crevasses that lurk beneath. Number 15. Tragedy of French colonial brutality in Algeria. Algeria's tumultuous history bears the scars of a painful past, one that has often been obscured by time and politics. Today, we delve into the shadows to uncover the French atrocities that have left an indelible mark on this North African nation. The Algerian War of Independence, 1954–1962, was a bitter struggle for sovereignty, but it was also a period marred by horrific acts perpetrated by French colonial forces. While many associate colonialism with exploitation, the depths of the brutality and oppression endured by the Algerian people are often overlooked. One of the most chilling incidents was the Sétif and Guelma massacre of 1945. In response to Algerian nationalist demands, French forces unleashed a brutal crackdown, resulting in the deaths of thousands of Algerians. This event served as a precursor to the larger conflict that would follow. As the war for independence raged on, French forces resorted to tactics that violated basic human rights. Torture, mass killings, and the use of internment camps were widespread. The infamous Battle of Algiers, a protracted urban conflict, became synonymous with the harsh measures employed by the French military. Perhaps one of the most haunting chapters in this history is the use of disappearances. Thousands of Algerians were arrested, never to be seen again, leaving families and communities in a state of perpetual grief and uncertainty. These atrocities were further exacerbated by the use of napalm and chemical weapons, causing unimaginable suffering among the civilian population. Villages were decimated, and the scars of this violence still linger in the collective memory of Algeria. The struggle for independence ultimately succeeded in 1962, leading to the birth of a sovereign Algeria. However, the wounds of the past run deep, and the legacy of these atrocities continues to shape the nation's identity and its quest for justice. Number 14. France exporting banned pesticides. The French government has approved the export of over 7,400 tons of banned pesticides last year, despite implementing a law aimed at prohibiting such practices. Among the approved exports are 14 different chemicals prohibited for use on European Union farms due to human health and environmental concerns. These include neonicotinoid insecticides, known for their harmful impact on pollinators, as well as pesticides linked to endocrine disruption, DNA damage, groundwater contamination, and wildlife toxicity. The investigation revealed major loopholes in the French law, allowing manufacturers to continue exporting banned pesticides. Documents obtained under Freedom of Information laws showed that between January and September 2022, France approved 155 exports of banned pesticides, weighing a total of 7,475 tons. Three-quarters of these exports, by weight, were destined for low- and middle-income countries with weaker regulations. The investigation also found multinational agrochemical companies shifting some banned chemical exports to other EU countries. The European Commission's plans for an EU-wide ban on banned chemical exports have been thrown into uncertainty, while calls for more comprehensive regulations and international cooperation continue. Number 13. Prehistoric bear dog discovered in the Pyrenees. Exploring the Pyrenees mountain range in southern France, paleontologists stumbled upon an extraordinary find, a lower jawbone that has the potential to introduce us to a previously unknown species. The newfound fauna belongs to the Amphicyonidae family, colloquially known as the bear dog, which once roamed these ancient mountains more than 12 million years ago, comprising various recognized species. While the jawbone shares similarities with those of other Amphicyonidae species, it boasts a distinctive feature, an additional fourth, lower premolar. This crucial anatomical detail signals the likely possibility of a new genus within the Amphicyonidae family. The scientists named the new specimen Tartarocyon. The name pays homage to the legendary giant Cyclops of Basque mythology, a folklore deeply entrenched in the cultural tapestry of the province of Béarn, the very region where this jawbone emerged from a marine deposit dating back 12 million years. In addition to the finding of a new species, This jawbone will help scientists better understand how the climate changed during the mid-Miocene and how ancient creatures traversed the area. Number 12. Mysterious sarcophagus discovered at Notre Dame. In the wake of a major renovation project at Notre Dame, after it was partially destroyed in a major fire in 2019, archaeologists were called in to assess a mysterious burial chamber discovered underground. This chamber, dating back several centuries, held two ornate sarcophagi, their occupants shrouded in mystery. Who were these individuals? How did they end up being interred in such a noteworthy location? The mysteries of these sarcophagi have been discovered after thorough examination. Despite the fact that both sarcophagi were comparatively well preserved, neither contained organic material, according to researchers, because of holes that let air inside. The coffins belonged to different archaeological levels and varied in size, age, and workmanship. According to a plaque on the coffin, one tomb belonged to Antoine de la Porte, who passed away on Christmas Eve in 1710, according to experts. De la Porte passed away at the age of 83. His coffin was known as the Jubilee Canon. He contributed to the choir's upkeep at the Notre Dame Cathedral throughout his life. The other mysterious casket could be from the 14th century. The deceased's identity of the other individual may never be discovered, but he has been given the moniker Le Cavalier, since a pelvic bone examination indicates that he was a horseman. Both men were clearly important, as seen by the locations of their graves inside Notre Dame Cathedral. A few more of the legendary site's secrets are revealed by the rediscovery of their coffins. Further investigations promise to unveil more about these enigmatic figures. Number 11. 1,300-year-old shipwreck discovered in France. Archaeologists in France recently unearthed a 40-foot shipwreck that once sailed the Garonne River in the 7th and 8th centuries. This ancient wooden vessel was found buried beneath the silt of Este de Lugan, a creek near Bordeaux. Remarkably preserved for 1,300 years of age, due to the waterlogged clay, it offers a unique insight into early medieval nautical design. Measuring approximately 40 feet, the ship was originally about 50 feet long and served as a versatile cargo vessel for both river and coastal journeys, featuring a flat floor for large cargo. Constructed from oak and softwood, the ship's delicate beams require constant moisture to prevent deterioration. The vessel is now undergoing meticulous disassembly, allowing experts to study its construction techniques and determine its place in naval architectural history. This discovery presents an extraordinary opportunity to explore maritime practices from over a millennium ago. Inside the ship, archaeologists discovered various artifacts, including ceramics and leather fragments, shedding light on life and work during the 7th–8th century. Number 10. Giant predatory worms are invading France. France is facing an invasion of giant terrestrial plathelminth species, posing a significant threat to biodiversity. These invasive land flatworms, transported through global trade, include species like Platydemus manokwari from New Guinea and Obama nungara from South America. Some of these flatworms belong to a group of giant species, such as the Bipalium and Diversibipalium genera, reaching up to 1 meter in length, primarily originating from Asia. Terrestrial flatworms, as their name suggests, have a somewhat flat shape and possess a distinctive, creeping sole on their ventral side covered in cilia. These flatworms rely on their sense of smell to hunt and track their prey, employing sticky secretions that are likely toxic to immobilize them. Once they have captured their prey, they consume it by injecting digestive enzymes and then sucking up the resulting liquid. Their preferred targets include animals that reside in the soil, such as earthworms, slugs, protists, roundworms, and insect larvae. Over 5 years of research, scientists received over 700 reports of land flatworm sightings, with Bipalium quenza and Diversibipalium multilineatum being the dominant species in France, capable of growing up to 40 centimeters long. Land flatworms threaten soil biodiversity by feeding on soil fauna, and Bipalium species have a chemical arsenal, including the powerful neurotoxin tetrodotoxin. Reports of these invasive worms were not limited to mainland France, but also extended to French overseas territories and countries like Switzerland, Monaco, and Portugal. Asexual reproduction enables these flatworms to rapidly invade new territories, making every worm potentially immortal. Despite the invasion dating back over 20 years, there was a surprising lack of scientific attention to this issue in France. Efforts are needed to educate the public and scholars about land flatworms and keep these invasive predators in check. Number 9. 57,000-year-old Neanderthal art discovered in French cave. The oldest known Neanderthal cave markings have been discovered in France, providing insights into the cultural complexity of these ancient human species. Led by Jean-Claude Marquet from the University of Tours, a team of experts found non-figurative markings called finger flutings in the La Roche-Cotard cave. Using 3D representations created through photogrammetry and plotting analysis, they determined that these deliberate and intentional shapes were created by Neanderthal hands. Dating techniques, including optically stimulated luminescence dating of cave sediments, revealed that the markings date back approximately 57,000 years ago, possibly even earlier, at around 75,000 years ago. This predates the arrival of Homo sapiens in the region, confirming that the carvings were made by Neanderthals. The discovery of Mousterian stone tools further supports this attribution, as this stone tool-making technique is closely associated with Neanderthals. Although the precise meaning of the markings remains uncertain due to their non-figurative nature, they demonstrate that Neanderthals had complex and diverse behaviors and activities similar to our human ancestors. This significant finding enhances our understanding of Neanderthal culture and their ability for symbolic expression. It also establishes the La Roche-Cotard cave as the oldest decorated cave in France, and possibly in Europe. Number 8. 2,000-year-old graves discovered at Paris train station. Recent preventive excavations conducted prior to a planned train station expansion in Paris have unveiled 50 second-century graves, shedding light on the funeral customs of the ancient Gallic tribe called the Parisii, who lived in the Gallo-Roman town of Lutetia. The excavation, located 3 meters beneath the city's surface, revealed skeletons belonging to men, women, and children, offering insights into the lives of the inhabitants of Paris during the 2nd century. The graves were found in the Saint-Jacques necropolis, which was part of a larger cemetery. The cemetery was initially discovered in the 19th century, but was subsequently forgotten and covered up. The recent discovery of these graves near the Port Royal station has allowed researchers to uncover Paris's ancient history. The burned remains of the skeletons were found in wooden coffins, with only fragments of wood and nails remaining. Many graves contained offerings such as ceramic vases, receptacles, glassware, and coins. Objects like shoes, fibulas, jewels, belts, and hairpins were also discovered, reflecting the belief in an afterlife and the practice of including items that would assist the deceased in their journey. Researchers plan to conduct DNA testing on the remains to gain insights into the health of the people during that era. Number 7. Giant dinosaur bone unearthed in France. Scientists have made a significant discovery in France with the unearthing of a thigh bone from a giant dinosaur. The 2-meter-long femur, found at an excavation site in southwest France, is being hailed as a major find. The bone is believed to belong to a sauropod, a herbivorous dinosaur that lived over 140 million years ago during the late Jurassic era. The site at Angiac-Charente has yielded a treasure trove of fossils, with over 7,500 specimens from more than 40 different species discovered since 2010. The state of preservation of the femur has astounded scientists, showing clear markings of muscle and tendon insertions, which is rare for such large bones. The sauropods are estimated to have weighed between 40 and 50 tons. This discovery adds to our understanding of these enormous creatures that once roamed the Earth and provides valuable insights into the prehistoric world. Number 6. Discovery of a monumental Roman complex. Archaeologists in Reims, northeastern France, have uncovered a significant Roman-era complex dating back to the 2nd-3rd century AD. The site comprises 2 porticoed galleries forming a U-shape, each measuring 65 feet in length. The galleries house over 20 rooms, ranging from corridors to living areas with chalk floors and fireplaces. 9 of the rooms were part of ancient baths, with 5 featuring a well-preserved hypocaust underfloor heating system. The excavations revealed painted plasters adorned with floral motifs, including rare pigments such as a blue reminiscent of Egyptian blue. The complexity of the site, with its numerous rooms, Lavish decorations, large galleries, hydraulic network, and archaeological findings leaves room for two interpretations. The site could have been the opulent dwelling of a wealthy individual or a public spa complex due to its monumentality. Number 5. Mass grave discovered beneath Paris supermarket. They undoubtedly didn't plan to find hundreds of human bones when a supermarket in Paris, France, opted to rebuild its cellar to provide more storage space. But that's exactly what they found when they drilled through the basement floor. Approximately 200 skeletons were discovered tightly clustered beneath the flooring, presenting a remarkable research opportunity, according to experts. The discovery unfolded when construction workers, in the process of expanding basement storage, stumbled upon this rather unsettling sight. They promptly enlisted the expertise of archaeologists, which uncovered an array of human remains, including those of men, women, and children, arranged in stacks of up to 5 bodies deep. Their investigations revealed the presence of 8 chambers, housing approximately 200 bodies in total. Store manager Pascal Roy shared, "We expected to find some bones, given the site's history as a former cemetery, but the revelation of mass graves was entirely unexpected." This supermarket now stands on the grounds of the Trinité Hospital, shedding light on the historical context of this startling discovery. Experts speculate that the tightly packed arrangement of skeletons suggests the possibility of an epidemic, such as the plague, which afflicted France throughout the 14th, 15th, and 16th centuries. For archaeologists, this grave offers a unique window into the past, allowing them to explore how death was handled and ancient funerary practices. Number 4. Mandarin Cave rewrites early human history. A team of archaeologists and paleoanthropologists discovered evidence at Mandarin Cave in southern France's Rhône region, showing Homo sapiens reached Western Europe approximately 54,000 years ago. The cave contains layers of archaeological remains dating back over 80,000 years. In a particular layer known as the E layer, researchers found over 1,500 finely crafted flint points, potentially arrowheads, standardized with unmatched precision. These points are attributed to the Neronian culture, linked to other Rhône area sites. Comparison with fossils from the Sarakil site near Mount Lebanon confirmed the similarities in techniques, solidifying the findings at Mandarin Cave as the earliest traces of Homo sapiens in Europe. A milk tooth discovered in the E layer provided further proof of Homo sapiens' presence. The study also highlights that Neanderthals and Homo sapiens alternated in the cave, with rapid succession between occupants, sometimes within a year. While no evidence of cultural exchange between the two groups was found, the coexistence of the two human species challenges previous assumptions. This groundbreaking research redefines our understanding of the timeline and encounters between Homo sapiens and Neanderthals, providing valuable insights into early human history in Europe. The findings indicate an earlier and more complex presence of Homo sapiens, shedding new light on their migration patterns and interactions with other hominin species. Number 3. The mysterious Bloody Red Lake in Camargue, France. Those who are unaware of the fact that the blood-red lakes and rivers in Camargue are only a natural occurrence can mistake them for an ominous end-of-the-world scene. The rivers and lakes' blood-red tint is caused by the high salt concentration created by the billions of salt crystals that cover the coastline, branches, and rocks. This highly salinized water contains microscopic algae. As the algae multiply, they produce beta-carotene to shield themselves from the light, which gives the saline water its pink hue. Although the frequency of this phenomena is unknown, salt has been the region's lifeblood for hundreds of years. In addition, the region is the origin of riz rouge, commonly known as red rice, which gets its name from its blatantly crimson hue. The Camargue is the largest river delta in Western Europe, covering an area of approximately 930 square kilometers, and it has a remarkable range of ecological species. Inland saltwater lakes, or étangs as they are known in the Languedoc, cover a large portion of the territory. Lakes or marshlands make up around a third of the Camargue. The salt flats and Red Lake are well known to the French, but remain relatively under the radar to international tourists, so if you are in the region, it's definitely worth a visit. Number 2. The tragic story of the Air France plane crash. The Air France 447 plane crash was both the deadliest aviation catastrophe with the Airbus A330 and the deadliest accident in the history of Air France. The crash of Air France Flight 447, carrying 228 passengers from Brazil to Paris, was later revealed to be caused by pilot errors. Rookie pilot Cedric Bonin made a critical mistake during a tropical storm, pointing the aircraft's nose upward instead of downward. The resulting descent led to the tragic crash into the sea. Air France denied responsibility and disputed claims of pilot incompetence. Nevertheless, the airline introduced mandatory training on high-altitude stall management after the incident. Recovering the black box took 2 years, with analysis showing that passengers were not informed during the descent. A mechanical failure of the external speed sensors occurred before the crash, prompting Air France to address the issue. 2 pilots were found to have fallen asleep instead of piloting the aircraft. Panicked conversations were captured moments after the equipment failure. Air France faces a criminal charge of manslaughter, the first company-focused criminal proceeding in French legal history. While some expect an acquittal, significant compensation has already been provided to the victims' families through civil suits. If convicted, Air France could face a maximum fine of £197,862 for involuntary manslaughter, relatively small compared to the airline's revenue. Number 1. The deadly Mont Blanc tunnel disaster. In 1999, beneath the towering Mont Blanc, a catastrophic event unfolded within the world's deepest tunnel. It all began when a truck, carrying margarine and flour, suddenly burst into flames, setting off a devastating sequence of events that claimed 39 lives. The tunnel, stretching for 11.6 kilometers, rapidly filled with acrid smoke and temperatures that soared to unbearable levels, leaving no escape for those trapped inside. As the situation spiraled out of control, emergency systems faltered. Surveillance cameras, obscured by the dense smoke, became useless, leaving motorists trapped in their vehicles, oblivious to the impending calamity. A sinister plume of toxic smoke and relentless heat swept through the tunnel, turning the passage into a fiery death trap. The disaster's origin was surprisingly humble, a discarded cigarette igniting the truck's air filter. Yet, this seemingly minor spark unleashed a blazing hell within the confines of the tunnel. The cargo, primarily margarine, fueled the inferno to catastrophic proportions. In the aftermath, the tragedy spurred significant safety reforms. Enhanced surveillance technology, redesigned fire shelters, and improved ventilation systems aimed to prevent such a horrifying event from ever occurring again.